Hey everyone, let's be real. Sometimes understanding if someone likes you feels like trying to decode ancient texts, especially when it comes to someone who's not upfront about their feelings. Maybe there's this girl in your life who gives off all the signs, but never actually says the words, I like you. So, how can you tell if she's into you, even if she's keeping quiet? One of the clearest yet often overlooked signs that a girl likes you, but isn't openly admitting it, is how frequently she initiates communication. In today's world, where people are glued to their phones but often guarded about their feelings, the way she reaches out can say a lot about her emotional investment. If she's the one starting conversations, sending you updates about her day, or even just checking in for no reason, that's not random behavior. That's interest in action. Now, this initiation doesn't always look like a dramatic "Hey, I miss you" text. It can be something subtle, a meme she thinks you'd laugh at, a quick message asking for your opinion on something trivial, or even a simple "What are you up to?" at the end of a long day. These small digital nudges are often her way of staying in your orbit, even when she can't or doesn't know how to directly express her feelings. Her goal may not be to start a deep conversation. It's just to connect, even briefly. Think about it. We don't often reach out to people we're indifferent about. Our time and attention are valuable, and we naturally prioritize those who matter to us. So if she's frequently the one to spark conversation, especially without a clear reason to, it likely means she thinks about you more than she lets on. This is especially true if she's doing so even when you're not as quick to respond. If she keeps reaching out despite your slower replies, she's trying to keep the bond alive. Another way she might initiate contact is through social media. Is she one of the first to view your stories or like your posts? Does she comment with inside jokes or emojis that only the two of you would understand? These behaviors may seem small, but they're significant. They show that she's paying attention and actively engaging with your life. For many, online interaction is a low-risk, low-pressure way to stay visible and emotionally connected. Sometimes this effort goes beyond texts or online interaction and enters real-world behavior. Maybe she finds reasons to bump into you or conveniently shows up where she knows you'll be. Maybe she asks for help with things she could easily handle on her own, like carrying something or needing advice. These little moments are often excuses to spend time with you, wrapped in everyday casualness. She might not even fully realize she's doing it, but her actions speak volumes. You should also pay attention to the timing of her messages. Does she reach out in the morning to say good luck before something important? Or at night, when she's winding down and most emotionally honest? When someone contacts you during quiet or vulnerable moments, like late at night or during a rough day, it's often because they feel emotionally safe with you. That's a strong indicator of closeness and interest, especially when those moments are self-initiated. It's also worth noting the consistency of her communication. Anyone can send a flurry of messages in a single day, but if she consistently checks in over time, days, weeks, even months, that's a strong sign her feelings aren't fleeting. Even if she's shy or guarded, this consistency means you're on her mind regularly, and she wants to maintain some form of emotional presence in your life. Ultimately, when a girl makes the first move in communication repeatedly, whether through texts, calls, social media, or in-person interactions, it's usually not because she's just being polite. It's because she cares. She may not have the words or the courage or the right moment to confess how she feels, but her desire to stay connected is her way of saying, in her own quiet language, "You matter to me." Even when someone doesn't say how they feel, their body language often betrays their true emotions. That's especially true when a girl likes you but isn't ready or comfortable enough to verbalize it. Unlike words, which can be chosen carefully, body language is usually spontaneous and subconscious. It leaks out feelings we try to hide. So if you're trying to figure out if she's into you, pay close attention to the silent ways her body speaks when she's around you. Start with eye contact. This is often the biggest giveaway. If she locks eyes with you more than usual, or holds your gaze just a second longer than necessary, she's likely feeling a connection. Conversely, if she looks away quickly and blushes, that could also be a sign of nervous attraction. The key is in the pattern. Does she look at you often when you're not talking? Does she seem to check? If you're looking at her, that dance of glances is her nonverbal way of expressing interest and curiosity. Then there's proximity, how close she chooses to stand or sit near you. If she consistently moves closer in group settings, or if she leans toward you when you speak, that's a physical sign of comfort and connection. People naturally move toward those they like and feel safe with. She might not even realize she's inching closer, but her subconscious desire to be near you will come through in how often she breaks that invisible bubble of personal space. Mirroring is another powerful body language cue. This is when she unconsciously mimics your gestures, posture, or tone of voice. For instance, if you run your hand through your hair, and she does something similar soon after, or if you cross your arms and she follows suit, it's likely not a coincidence. Mirroring is a psychological sign of rapport and attraction, and it's something people tend to do when they're synced up emotionally or feel connected to someone. Look at her gestures when she talks to you. Are her hands animated? Does she touch her face, neck, or hair more often? These movements often signal a mix of excitement and nervous energy. For women, playing with their hair or touching their lips can be subconscious flirtation behaviors, especially if they happen mostly when she's around you. These cues aren't always easy to spot, but when you start paying attention, they create a bigger picture of how she truly feels. Facial expressions also say a lot. If she lights up when you enter the room, if her smile looks genuine, wrinkles at the corners of the eyes, relaxed facial muscles, that's not just her being friendly. It's her emotional reaction to seeing you. We can't fake that kind of joy, at least not consistently. And if you catch her smiling at you from across the room, even when you're not talking, that's affection peeking through her restraint. Touch is another major clue. Does she find reasons to touch you lightly, like brushing your arm when she laughs, fixing your collar, or tapping your hand to emphasize a point? These seemingly casual touches often come from a place of affection. Even if she's not a naturally touchy person, subtle, brief contact might be her way of breaking that barrier and expressing warmth and attraction physically without putting herself in a vulnerable position emotionally. Lastly, pay attention to her posture and orientation. When a girl likes you, she tends to angle her body toward you, even when others are around. Her feet might point in your direction. Her torso might stay aligned with yours during conversation, and she may tilt her head while listening. All of these signs indicate that her attention is locked onto you. Her body is quite literally saying, "I'm focused on you," even if her mouth never does. When a girl remembers the small things you've said or done, it's one of the most telling signs that she likes you, even if she hasn't said it out loud. While anyone can remember major life events or public moments, it takes a different level of emotional engagement to hold onto the tiny details. These are the moments that most people would forget or overlook unless they genuinely care. Her memory is essentially a mirror of her emotional focus, and if she's storing up the small stuff, chances are she's thinking about you more than she lets on. You might casually mention your favorite coffee order in a passing comment, and days later, she surprises you with that exact drink. Or maybe you shared a random story about a childhood pet, and months later she brings it up in conversation. These aren't just acts of kindness, they're signs of emotional investment. She's paying attention not because she has to, but because she wants to. Something about your words stuck with her, and that's rarely accidental. People naturally retain information about those they feel close to, but when someone likes you romantically, their focus sharpens. If she remembers not just what you say, but how you say it, phrases you repeat, things you're passionate about, what makes you nervous, it suggests she's listening deeply. Listening with intention is not just about hearing the words, it's about processing them with care. She's collecting these pieces of who you are and holding on to them because they matter to her. What makes this even more meaningful is that remembering small things often takes no public reward. There's no audience, no applause, no external gain. It's a silent, personal gesture that reflects where her attention and affection lie. Maybe she recalls the date of your job interview and texts you good luck that morning, or she remembers your favorite band and sends you a song she thinks you'd like. These thoughtful moments often speak louder than grand declarations. In many cases, she'll bring up something you completely forgot you said. That's where the power lies. While you might not think twice about a comment you made on a bad day, if she brings it up weeks later to ask if you're feeling better, it shows emotional depth and care. These little memory bookmarks aren't just stored facts. They're emotional cues that she uses to stay connected to your inner world. She's mapping your moods, your preferences, your quirks, and likely your heart. You may also notice that she avoids things you've said you don't like. Maybe she doesn't invite you to places she knows make you uncomfortable, or makes sure not to bring up a topic that you've told her is sensitive. This level of consideration, especially when it's unspoken, shows that she's not just listening, she's adapting. She's shaping her behavior around your comfort and well-being, and that requires both empathy and emotional awareness. Another subtle way this shows up is when she uses information you've shared to connect with you on a deeper level. For example, she might reference your favorite movie during a conversation or suggest plans based on something you once mentioned enjoying. These aren't generic efforts. They're personalized attempts to strengthen the bond and show that she knows you not just the surface version, but the detailed, nuanced one. It's her way of building intimacy through memory, and perhaps the most telling sign of all, she brings up your past conversations as if they mattered, not just to you, but to her. She recalls jokes, brings back shared moments, and connects present situations to things you once talked about. This habit isn't just about nostalgia. It's her way of keeping your shared story alive. Each remembered detail is a thread, and together they weave the quiet but undeniable fabric of someone who's falling for you, one memory at a time. One of the strongest indicators that a girl likes you, without ever needing to say the words, is how she prioritizes her time around you. In a world where everyone is juggling work, responsibilities, friends, social obligations, and personal downtime, time has become one of the most valuable currencies we have. So when she chooses to spend her limited free moments with you, or rearranges her schedule just to see or talk to you, that's not just kindness, that's intention. You may notice that even when she's busy, she still finds a way to fit you in. Maybe she's got assignments due, a job that drains her, or family responsibilities. But somehow she still messages you back, still agrees to hang out, or calls you even if it's just for a few minutes. That effort is not casual. It's her way of silently saying, "You're important to me," without having to spell it out. It shows you're not just an option to her. You're part of her priority list. It might start small. She stays on the phone with you late into the night when she could be sleeping. She agrees to join you at events she might not usually attend. She invites you into her world, into her time, not because she has nothing else to do, but because she wants you there. Whether it's sharing lunch during a short break or walking with you after class or work, these aren't coincidences, they're decisions. What's even more revealing is when she makes time for you during moments when she's not feeling her best, days when she's tired, overwhelmed, or just emotionally drained. It's easy to show up when life is calm, but choosing to be present when you don't feel 100%, that's real care. It means she sees you as a source of comfort or emotional support. Her instinct is to keep you close, not pull away, even when she's struggling silently. It's also worth noting when she cancels other plans or changes her routine for you. Maybe she skips a social gathering or cuts it short just to meet up. Maybe she's known for keeping her weekends sacred, but makes an exception when you ask if she's free. These sacrifices may seem small, but they reveal a deeper emotional calculation. She's not just making time, she's making space in her life for you, and that doesn't happen unless you matter. Sometimes she'll go out of her way to create opportunities to see you. She might suggest grabbing coffee even when she doesn't really need caffeine, or propose a study session when she could have done just fine alone. These invitations are her way of engineering moments with you under the pretense of casualness. But underneath it, she's carving out shared time because it makes her happy, even if she's too shy or uncertain to say why. Even in digital communication, making time shows up. If she's consistently replying to you quickly, staying up late texting, or starting conversations during times you know she's normally busy, she's making a conscious effort. In the attention economy, giving someone your focused, unhurried time, even in conversation, is a subtle but powerful display of affection. She's not just messaging you back because she's bored. She's doing it because talking to you matters to her. Making time is more than just showing up physically. It's about emotional availability, too. When a girl listens to your problems, remembers your schedule, checks in during stressful periods, or makes herself emotionally present even when life is chaotic, it's a huge sign she cares. She might not have found the courage to say, "I like you," but her consistency, her presence, and her willingness to make time for you say it for her, day after day, moment by moment. Jealousy, when mild and respectful, can be one of the most telling signs that someone likes you but doesn't want to admit it, especially if that person is generally composed or private about their feelings. When a girl starts showing signs of jealousy, even in small doses, it's a strong emotional cue. It means she feels a sense of emotional investment in you, enough that the idea of your attention being elsewhere makes her uneasy, even if she never says it out loud. This jealousy often appears subtly. Maybe she acts differently when you mention another girl, even in passing. Her tone might shift, her body language might tighten, or her replies might become more clipped or sarcastic. She could suddenly seem disinterested in the conversation or make a light joke that brushes off the topic. But those are her defenses kicking in. Internally, she might be thinking, why her, why not me? Even if she's trying hard to play it cool. Sometimes she might even try to dismiss or downplay the girl you're talking about. Maybe she says something like, "She doesn't seem your type," or "I don't really see what's so special about her." These comments, while they might sound casual or even humorous, often come from a place of comparison and quiet frustration. She's measuring herself against this other person, wondering how she stacks up, and that's not something people do unless they have feelings on the line. Her jealousy might also come through in how she behaves around other women you interact with, especially if those women are close friends, exes, or people she perceives as potential threats. Watch how she reacts when those women are around, or when you mention spending time with them. Does she suddenly become more reserved, or, on the flip side, more animated, as if trying to outshine them in the moment? Either response can be a form of subtle competition, driven by unspoken affection. You might also notice changes in her engagement levels when she feels threatened. For example, if you post a photo with another girl or mention spending time with someone new, she might suddenly become less responsive, or oddly more active in your messages or comments. These are signs of internal conflict. She doesn't want to come across as possessive or make her feelings obvious, but part of her is battling that sinking feeling of being replaced or overlooked. Sometimes she might test the waters by throwing in a little jealousy of her own. She could mention a guy who asked her out, or a friend who's been flirting with her. This isn't always an innocent update. Often it's a calculated move to gauge your reaction, because if you seem jealous or even just curious, it reassures her that you care too. It's a subtle game of emotional cat and mouse, where both people are trying to get the other to confess first without being the one to risk it all. Interestingly, even when she's trying to suppress jealousy, her emotions might still show in the little things. How she stares at the ground when you mention another girl's name, how she suddenly becomes quiet, or how her energy shifts. Jealousy isn't always loud or dramatic. In fact, the quiet kind can be even more revealing because it means she's internalizing her feelings instead of expressing them. And people usually only do that when those feelings matter deeply. Ultimately, jealousy is about fear. Fear of losing a connection, of being replaced, of feelings not being returned. When a girl who hasn't confessed her feelings gets jealous, it's not about control or ownership. It's about emotional vulnerability. It means she likes you enough to feel uneasy about the thought of you choosing someone else. And that discomfort, as silent as it may be, is often the clearest confession she hasn't spoken yet. When a girl likes you but doesn't openly admit it, one of the most telling signs is how often she mentions you to her friends. Whether it's in casual conversation, over a cup of coffee, or during a girl's night out, the fact that her friends know about you means you're on her mind often. People don't casually talk about someone they're indifferent to. They talk about the people who matter to them, the ones they care about, and the ones they're emotionally invested in. So if she's frequently mentioning your name, your interactions, or even stories about your time together, it's likely because she's thinking of you even when you're not around. Her friends' reactions are also an important clue. If her friends already know who you are and show some level of excitement or curiosity when you're around, it means she's been talking about you to them. They might tease her when she's near you, make playful comments, or look at her with knowing glances. These reactions are almost always a direct reflection of the information she's shared with them. It's a little like she's been prepping the field, making sure her circle knows about you before you even meet. If you're unsure whether she's spoken about you, pay attention to how her friends behave when you're with them. Are they extra warm and welcoming? Do they seem interested in getting to know you? If so, it's likely because they've heard positive things from her. Her friends might not outright admit that she's been talking about you, but their behavior can betray her feelings. They'll often act as if they already know you, and might even throw out subtle hints or questions to get you talking more. On the flip side, if she's hesitant to introduce you to her friends, it could signal that she's unsure of how to define your relationship or is protecting her feelings. However, if she does eventually introduce you to her closest circle, it's a big deal. She's ready to bring you into her world, even if her heart is still a little guarded. This gesture alone shows that she sees potential with you, enough to make sure her friends are aware of your existence. Another clue comes when her friends give you attention, almost like they're trying to test you. They might ask about your life, joke about your connection, or even tease you both about how long it took for things to officially happen. These friendly but pointed questions are typically designed to see how you react. If you're genuinely interested in her, your response will reveal that, and it'll let her friends know how serious you are about her, without either of you having to say a word. It's also important to note that she may not be the one who mentions you directly, but if her friends bring you up in conversation, and she reacts positively, that's a sign of affection. When she talks about you with a smile or a hint of excitement in her voice, that's her allowing herself to show a little bit of vulnerability. She's letting her guard down, even if only with those who are close to her. Her energy changes when she talks about you, and it's not just the words she says. It's the way she speaks, the tone she uses, and the way she lights up when your name comes up. You can also pay attention to her friends' social media activity. If they're liking your posts, tagging you in photos, or commenting with inside jokes, it's often a way for them to support the idea of you two together, even if nothing has been officially stated. This public acknowledgement is their subtle way of cheering you both on. After all, friends are likely to be your biggest advocates, and if she hasn't confessed her feelings yet, her friends are the next best thing to clue you in. Lastly, when her friends know about you, it creates a natural bridge for the two of you to grow closer. They'll be the ones to encourage her, tease her, or even give advice about how to navigate her feelings. If you've made a positive impression on them, they might even nudge her toward admitting what's already clear to them, that she's into you. Her friends are your secret allies in this process, and the more they know about you, the more they'll be rooting for you both to take things to the next level. Flirting is a classic yet often confusing sign that someone likes you, especially when they're trying to keep their feelings hidden or unsure how to express them. If a girl is flirting with you, it's not just about playful banter or a few teasing comments. It's her way of testing the waters, building a connection, and expressing affection without putting herself in a vulnerable position. Flirting can be a gentle way to communicate attraction, and the subtlety behind it can be incredibly telling. When a girl likes you but won't directly say it, flirting becomes her emotional language, one that speaks louder than words. Flirting often starts with physical cues. This could include light touches on the arm or shoulder, brushing up against you accidentally on purpose, or leaning in closer when speaking. These physical signs aren't always overt. They are often subtle, but they reveal a deeper level of comfort and desire. For instance, if she mirrors your movements, stands a little too close, or finds excuses to be near you, it shows that she's comfortable in your presence, and possibly a little attracted to you. Even casual touches like fixing your hair or playfully nudging you can be ways she's testing the connection between the two of you. Verbal flirting is another key indicator. She may make playful or suggestive comments, either teasing you or making jokes that create a little bit of tension or intrigue. If she's saying things like, "I could never pull off that look like you do," or "you always know how to make me laugh," it's her way of acknowledging your presence while keeping things light. This is often her way of giving you a compliment without being too forward, but it still expresses a certain level of admiration. A playful tone and an occasional wink or giggle are signals that she's enjoying the attention and perhaps hoping for something more. Eye contact during flirting also plays a major role. If she holds your gaze longer than usual or looks at you with a twinkle in her eyes, it's a sign of attraction. People often use eye contact to communicate affection or desire, and if she locks eyes with you across the room or during conversation. It's a subconscious way of expressing that she's interested. Her eyes may linger for a second longer than necessary, or she may glance at you frequently, especially when she's not speaking directly to you. If you notice her eyes brighten when she sees you, it's her body's instinctive way of telling you that she's happy to be in your presence. Sometimes flirting comes in the form of playful teasing or light-hearted challenges. She may make fun of you in a gentle, harmless way, perhaps commenting on something you did or joking about a silly habit. This teasing can be her way of creating a fun, bantering dynamic between the two of you, something that feels playful but also intimate. It's often a way to get you to pay attention to her and build a connection without being overtly serious. The key is that this kind of teasing is done with affection and a sense of mutual respect, rather than with the intent to hurt or offend. Her interest in your life also shifts when she flirts with you. She'll ask questions about your interests, your hobbies, and your past, showing a deeper curiosity about who you are. The difference here is that it won't feel like a standard conversation. She'll dig a little deeper, asking questions that are more personal or revealing. For example, instead of just asking if you've been on vacation recently, she might ask where you'd love to travel if you could go anywhere. These types of questions show a desire to get to know you not just superficially, but on a more emotional level. She's not just filling in the blanks. She's building a mental picture of who you are, and she wants you to know that she cares. There's also a shift in how she responds to your jokes and comments. If she laughs a little harder than necessary at your jokes, especially ones that are only mildly funny, that's a good sign she's paying attention. People tend to laugh more at the jokes of someone they're attracted to. Her laughter might feel a little more genuine or prolonged, and she might even playfully exaggerate her response to keep the interaction going. She might also touch her face or hair while laughing, a subconscious way of flustering herself when she's around someone she likes. These little hints might seem small, but together they paint a picture of someone who is really invested in the moment. Her body language, paired with the verbal flirtation, can be even more revealing. Playful mirroring of your movements, gestures, or speech patterns is a sign that she's emotionally syncing with you. If she starts using similar phrases, or if she leans in as you speak, those are signs of connection. This mimicking can happen naturally when there's chemistry between two people, and it shows that she's emotionally engaged. A flirty girl will often reflect your actions or words in a way that feels smooth and unforced, because on some level she's invested in creating a bond and wants you to feel the same. To conclude, recognizing the subtle signs that a girl likes you, without directly saying it, can be an exciting and enlightening experience. From the small, thoughtful details she remembers about you, to the way she flirts or makes time for you, each action and gesture reveals layers of affection that speak louder than words. Her jealousy, the way she speaks about you to her friends, and the genuine interest she shows are all clear indicators that her feelings run deeper than she may be willing to express out loud. Understanding these key signs not only gives you insight into her emotions, but also helps you navigate the unspoken dynamics of your relationship. By paying attention to her behavior and the way she interacts with you, you can learn how to respond in a way that encourages trust, openness, and deeper connection. Relationships are built on communication, and while some things remain unspoken, these subtle cues often hold the key to unlocking a bond that goes beyond surface-level interactions. Ultimately, if you notice these signs, it's clear that she values your presence in her life. Whether she's ready to confess her feelings or simply showing her affection in quieter ways, it's a sign that your connection is meaningful and that there's potential for something deeper. The more you observe and understand these signals, the better you'll be able to engage in a relationship where mutual feelings can eventually be shared openly,